Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a little mini series we're going to do from now until the end of the season, the race to the Premier League. Well, I'll be talking to, including myself, obviously as a Coventry representative, the teams chasing the automatic promotion spots in the Championship. No Johnny from Boro Breakdown this week, but I am joined by Millwall fan Chat with Chaps and Ipswich fan Benjamin Bloom. Ben, probably have to come to you first, mate. Big win for Ipswich last night, closing that gap on both Boro and Coventry.
Yeah, that felt like a playoff game last night, didn't it? That was proper tense. Hull got that lovely defensive setup. Extra centre back went in for the game. And it's so weird, those type of games where you're up against that type of team, because it's like your attacks feel this dangerous and their attacks feel that dangerous just because of the frequency and how these teams, when they're sat back, it's literally they've been told, right, run forward, play forward as soon as that ball turns over. And I was really pleased to see Ipswich win that type of game, and especially going into a week where you're playing Gary Rowett followed by Mark Robbins, where you know you're going to be up against similar things. And if we do have to go into the playoffs, we all know what tournament football's like. So, yeah, that felt a good win, Simon. And since the debacle at Wrexham, 5 goals conceded, 3 clean sheets in a row, mate. Are you quaking in your boots?
Yeah, I would have much preferred a whole win or a draw last night. Chris, I'm sure that you're the same, mate, watching on, hoping Borough and Ipswich are dropping points at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect result for us last night would have been a draw, because you've kind of got, if Hull had won, then they'd be back into the automatic conversation, right? So it's kind of like trying to strike that middle bit. I mean, the fact that we're even talking about Millwall in an automatic promotion race is...
Here he goes, playing it down, Simon. There you go.
Ever the pessimist.
It was a last-minute call-up to the show as well, if you want to look at that one of two ways as well. But yeah, Millwall well in this promotion race, aren't they, Chris?
We are, and I think, Ben, you've spoken about this many times in terms of, we've spoken about Millwall as a playoff team for quite a few years, and we've just not quite made it. It almost feels, without jinxing it, touching every bit of wood that I can, that's highly probable now. But to now be in the mix, to be talking about top 2, and we've got to go and play Hull next week. We've got to go and play Ipswich very soon after that. And then we've got to go and play Middlesbrough, all at their ground. It means we've got the opportunity to impact that one way or the other, whether that's from our perspective or theirs. So, yeah, it's a fantastic time to be a Millwall fan, for sure.
I'm looking at the table now, and I don't want to rule anything out at all at this stage of the season, but it does feel
you
like
can rule Sheffield Wednesday out, Simon.
Thank you, mate. Mathematically, I think
You're
as
welcome.
well, maybe down to 14th or something. I do think that Hull.
Have you actually added that up? Are you that scared of being caught? You've added up down to 14th now, Simon.
I tell you what it is. I know the other week that mathematically Coventry can't now finish below Leicester, and that was a big thing on Cov Twitter this week. So that's the only reason I know about it. What I would say is that Hull, I felt that was quite a seismic defeat for them. Thought they performed reasonably well. Obviously tried to get something, but 3 losses out of 5 for them. They're now 6 points behind Boro. They're 11 points behind Coventry. I think I would draw a line at them probably being maybe the last contenders for these top 2 places. I'd probably suggest it's very difficult for them to get the top 2 from this position, even with those head-to-head matches. If we're looking at Ipswich now, back to Ipswich, Ben, the game in hand is massive whenever it comes about, and we never like adding 3 points on. I know that's one of your mantras. But if you do win that game in hand with a better goal difference than Middlesbrough, you would now be above them, and you've averaged 2 points a game for a reasonably long spell now. I'm getting more and more bullish on Ipswich, but credit to Boro on Monday night. I mean, look what they did to Birmingham City.
Yeah, Boro can just pull out an awesome performance, though, can't they? I think it's strange to say it when you look at the squads, but I think Boro at their peak trumps Ipswich at their peak this season. I don't think we've seen the type of performance from Ipswich where they've, and maybe that's just because of the way people set up against Ipswich, but I would say that, wouldn't I? But we've seen some real hot performances from Boro, and I mean, it's such marginal gains that we can genuinely have a conversation about when in the calendar the Pompey away fixture actually gets put as being an absolute key factor, because all the Middlesbrough fans will say, yeah, what if that game gets put after the head-to-head between Middlesbrough and Ipswich? Then it's not in Ipswich's hands, because Middlesbrough beat Ipswich in the head-to-head at Portman Road. Then the game in hand doesn't matter. And dare I say, Simon, to flip it slightly to Coventry, myself and Chris are probably a bit annoyed at Bristol City last night, because that would have been a favour to everybody for a Coventry game to be kicked down the road. So in terms of the actual title picture, I think it was a good night for Ipswich last night. I also think it was a good night for Coventry.
I don't think Port Vale have ever had so many fans in their life last night. I mean, thousands of them cheering them on as they beat Bristol City. A great cup result for them. 4 points the gap for Millwall to Boro right now, Chris. From your perspective, I mean, great win over Preston at the weekend as well. Yeah. From your perspective, is that a gap that's achievable in terms of closing it?
I think it is. But again, we've then got to go to Middlesbrough and win, quite frankly. And then we probably got to go to Ipswich and either win or not lose. And on top of that, we've probably got to maintain our form at the minute, which is 2 points per game. And we've done that for the last 12 games. We've actually got 26 points. We're actually top of the form table and goal difference for the last 12 games, with Ipswich in second. Believe it or not, we have a better goal difference in Ipswich over the last 12 games. So we would have to maintain that, and the others would have to drop off. The challenge is that both Ipswich and Middlesbrough have also amassed 2 points per game for the last 12. So you can't have everything. But all that to say that, yes, it is achievable. And we've shown that when we are in games, we can come out with positive outcomes. I think our defeats this season, we've lost a Hull, so we owe them one. Our defeats this season are usually by more than one goal. But if it's a game that's tight, we usually go on and get something from it. So, look, I would take 4 points from those two games. And I do genuinely believe Hull played last night. We're rested. Yes, we've got to travel. But I think they picked up a couple of suspensions and injuries last night.
Coyle, the captain, got injured as well, yeah.
He got injured.
Crooks got suspended.
And I don't know about Pandor.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. So, look, you probably knackered them out as well, because they were doing a lot of...
Pandor's really good, by the way, Chris.
Is he?
Yeah.
We've got Flemmy Aziz. Yeah, I think that anything's achievable. I really do believe that. But, it's one that the old cliche in football is you take it game by game. And for us to achieve 2 points per game in the next 11 would be incredibly seismic, but who knows?
I would just ask, because sorry, you referred to it at the start of your clip there. You said he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something, I think, which is the exact Kevin Keegan quote.
What a hero.
I love it if we beat them. That was a terrible accent, but
I wanted to get your views on this as well, which popped up on my feed earlier, which is the average opponent's league position for the remainder of the season for our teams. Coventry's average opponent is 12.27, which is the toughest of the five on paper. Boro 12.91, Millwall 13.6, Ipswich 14.5, and Hull 14.6. However, I look at that and I understand that Coventry have Hull to play and Southampton and a couple of others in the top 10. But I look at that almost as, at this stage of the season, sometimes it's more difficult to play the teams that are in 20th, 21st, 22nd. I don't want to be playing Norwich. Don't want to be playing Sheffield United recently. I
look at Millwall. Do you really want to play Leicester and Oxford on the last two? They could be nuclear at that point and 8 in the box defending everything, Simon. And our best games this season have been against Coventry, where you get a nice game of football. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just glad we don't have to play you again this season, unless things go badly wrong for both of us and we end up in the playoffs together.
This is it as well, because when you read that, that's obviously an average. So that could mean you're going to play all of the middle bunch. But in our sense, we're not. We're playing the top bunch and the bottom bunch, which
that's the worst of both worlds, though, isn't it?
Exactly. So, but this is why, I'm going into it quite sort of positive and just, mind open, in the sense that if we do get into that top two, it will be there on merit, because we would have gone through this period and had to go to those places and picked up results. So, and if we don't, any Millwall fan at the start of the season would have taken a playoff place. So,
yeah, such an exciting part for any football fan of this season, and especially if you're in the promotion race, just try and enjoy it. I've also got the home and away split, which I wanted to get your views on, because Ipswich in particular, Ben, 5 left at home and 7 left away. Portman Road
could do with that being the other way round.
Yeah. Portman Road form has been very, very good this season. One defeat, I believe, at home, and that was at Charlton, that freak result. 7 to go away from home. Slightly concerning. Millwall, by the way, 5 at home, 6 away. Boro and Coventry, 6 at home, 5 away. So that swings in their favour, especially looking at Coventry with their CBS form.
It's just so difficult, Simon, because all we can do is look at this data and try and read stuff into it. And I literally had a view when you and I were speaking on Monday, which then changed following Middlesbrough winning, which then changed following Ipswich winning, which also changed slightly following Coventry now get to play Bristol City with Bristol City. Do you know what I mean? There was this weird scenario where Ipswich actually could have been 2 points behind Coventry, best case scenario, with a game postponed and Ipswich play Tuesday, Coventry play Wednesday. So it's more difficult than ever because of the nuances and, you know, the exact context of a game in April. I mean, I look at Charlton away on April the 22nd for Ipswich. If you played it right now, it's pretty horrible. But on April the 22nd, Charlton might be safe.
Yeah.
And it might actually be a nice game where the away end's full. You kick off in the sunlight at the Valley, you can go and get a win. Right now, no thanks. But so, you know, of course I'd rather play 7 at home and 5 away. But yeah, and then look, Southampton away, Good Friday. Should be a great football match, shouldn't it? And part of me, and I'm sure Chris might like this scenario as well, if it goes down to round 42, Ipswich versus Middlesbrough, and it's a game of football against Middlesbrough for the top 2, I'd rather that than going against Gary Rowett or whatever away at Oxford on a Friday night in December. So the context is so key, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, Chris, what do you make of that in terms of home and away form, especially with Millwall at the Den?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, and I'm sort of trying to take it pattern by pattern. So for me, it's like, what are the games leading up to the Easter weekend now, right? And how do we get through that block, and what sort of points can we get from that? And of course, in there, you've got the Ipswich game, you've got the whole game, but then you've got home games to the likes of QPR and Blackburn, which, you know, let's be honest, we should be winning those games, even if we want to be a playoff team. So. And then going back to the context is key. I think that's really important, because earlier we talked about, you got to play Leicester and Oxford bottom the last 2 games. They could be relegated. Like that's a scenario. So in
those games will either be really difficult or really easy, and nothing in between, won't they?
Exactly. So and then before that, we've got to go to West Brom. So you know, is
it Morrison's just been given the job to the end of the season there as well?
Oh, is that confirmed? Is it?
Yeah, I think they just announced that about an hour ago, which is, I would say, makes it easier for any team making West Brom. No disrespect to the fella, but if they'd have brought in a really experienced, hardcore manager, you'd find it very difficult to get points. I could see that changing.
He's taken the Torquay job, Simon.
I thought he'd be tempted away from the beach, but no. Yeah, I think that could have been a more difficult game than it now looks, given what they did last time out as well. So maybe West Brom might be a bit simpler than you think. From your two's perspective, and I think we looked at this maybe a lot more comfortable after Saturday rather than Monday night's result, and then Tuesday night's result, Coventry in a very strong position still favourites for the title now, 71 points on the board. Are you two in particular seeing as this is a race to finish second, or do you think Coventry can get dragged back into it?
Chris?
I think Coventry are clear now, if I'm being really honest. I think that they had that weird 10-game spell where I think they were 16th, 17th in the table. But other than that, they've been top of the league the whole season. I think their fixtures are kinder than some of the other teams. I know you kind of went through the averages there, but if you actually isolate the fixtures themselves and where you think contextually each of those opponents will be at the time of play, I just think there's now momentum back. The feel-good factor's back. I think that Middlesbrough win did wonders. So I personally think it is... I think there's one space in the top 2, and I think there's one space in the top 6.
Oh, exciting stuff. Ben, what about you? I think this can change very quickly, and it takes just a couple of results. As you mentioned, on Saturday, Coventry do now play Bristol City. If they fail to win there and then they're on Wednesday night. I'd also like to point out a bit of pressure on Easter weekend now, because Sky have moved both of Coventry's fixtures to 8 p.m. on the Friday and 8 p.m. on the Monday, which means they will be playing
for Leeds in 23-24, that going last. Yeah.
Which means there will be a lot of pressure on those games if the likes of Millwall, Middlesbrough, Ipswich can continue to rack up points. So it's not a done thing. I don't think Coventry have to be amazing now to get promoted, but to win the title and run away with it, it's still a bit of a tough ask. But 4 wins in a row, I'm feeling quite good. Ben, do you confident in Coventry, or you think Ipswich can still catch them?
Yeah, I'm confident in Coventry. Chris is right to raise the 13-game horrific run, but there's only 11 games.
I don't need reminding of that.
Yeah, there's only but look, if that's the price on the ticket to get up, then you take it, don't you? I suspect Mr. Lampard in his press conferences will publicly take each game as it comes, blah, blah, blah. I suspect privately he might have given his team a number of victories he thinks that will now get them promoted, which is probably 6 at most. So 11 games left. If Coventry wins 6 out of 11, they've got 89 points. They're up. Yeah.
I would also say, to factor into that, Sheffield Wednesday at home still to come, which should be a guaranteed 3 points. So you're looking at 5 wins from 10.
So 5 plus. I don't think it's 6 though, Simon. Who are 2 teams really scoring 87 points from here? If Coventry win 5 games, I don't think so. Not 2 teams.
What does 2 points a game for Millwall from this situation? 11 games to play. Or my maths.
84.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
2 points a game for Ipswich takes them to.
That's 87.
87. 2 points a game from Millwall takes them
you
to
mean Middlesbrough?
Middlesbrough, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Middlesbrough,
takes to 88.
But we probably can't all get that because we're all playing
exactly, because they're playing each other, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, Chris. One team might be there or thereabout, but, are Coventry realistically going to only win 3 of the last 11 games or 4 of the last 11 games? I know it gets really hard in April and everyone's tripping over the travelator at the end of the Gladiators, whatever the Eliminator, whatever it's called now. It's still
the travelator, is it? The travelator?
No, is it called the Eliminator?
Gladiators.
My daughter, Chris, my daughter's 4. She bloody loves Gladiators with
Gladiators.
Bradley Walsh and his son hosting it. I'm a John Fashanu and Ulrika Johnson guy myself, but that's showing my age. But flip the question, invert, Simon. For Coventry not to get promoted, not to top 2, forget the title, they win 3 of the last 11. They've still got 80 points. A couple more draws. You're looking at Coventry not winning 8 of the last 11. It just seems too far-fetched given the slip, given Onyeka, given Esse and Yang in, rotation of the strikers now, pretty fit squad. Rudoni has turned up as well.
Yeah, he's back.
You just can't see that happening, can you? Surely. Agree with me, Simon, and then we can clip it out.
Even the most cautious Coventry fan, which of course I am, I think we're in a fantastic position. Speaking with a word of caution, I would expect us to get top 2. Now, I'd like us to win the title from this position. Of course I would. And I think that needs to be the target for
greedy
of Frank Lampard, and really go for it to avoid any kind of, not looking over our shoulder, but trying to look ahead. I think 6 wins, you're probably right, does it? A couple of draws in there probably takes you to the title. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident, but it can all turn around so quickly. And if we lose a couple of games on the trot and other teams gain ground, the pressure will be back on. And we've bottled it once. People said we'd bottled it, and now we've not bottled it. And I don't know if there's room for another bottle, but we'll wait and see. What I would say is that we're saying 2 points a game is a pretty standard thing, and whether teams will be able to get that. The last 3 games for these promotion teams, Ipswich have won 3 in a row, Millwall have won 2 out of 3, Hull won 2 out of 3, and Boro are unbeaten with 2 pretty poor draws at home. So maybe there's a chance for you guys to kick on if that is there. I think managerial-wise is an interesting point. Maybe we should finish on for this episode. If you look at the managers in charge of these clubs, Alex Neil has a championship promotion on his CV, Chris. Kieran McKenna also has a championship promotion on his CV. Do you think that gives you a certain level of advantage over someone like Kim Hellberg, potentially over Frank Lampard as well?
Selfishly, yes, I'd like to think so, and I'm sure Ben would as well. But then, in reality, a good manager is one cog, right, of a makeup of factors that will go into who gets where. So, yes, I think I've said publicly on many a Millwall podcast, I wouldn't swap Alex Neil for any manager in the Championship for Millwall. There's other, obviously, in terms of he fits our DNA and what we're trying to achieve, I think, perfectly. So, yeah, I think it does give us an advantage per se. But I think just the consistency of manager, the consistency of players, having most of our squad now back. We've got Will Smallbone that will be returning to the squad. I did wonder why we kept him around, but to have him now in for a run-in, I think is fantastic. So, yeah, I'm probably not answering your question head on. Do I think it gives us an advantage? Yes. But then does having someone like Kim Hellberg, who's quite still fresh to the Championship and has got different ideas, look at the way he approached the Birmingham game the other night, completely changed his tactics. And so, you can look at it one or two different ways, I suppose. Ben, what do you think?
I totally agree with you, mate. Yeah, you can find, Lampard's star power and record with Derby as well. McKenna's double promotion. Neil's got the experience over everybody. But I like the point about Kim Hellberg, because you're not scared of anything. Where other managers might be, let's be honest, Lampard will be really burnt by the playoffs last year, and Neil will have in his head this and that. And we saw McKenna in a complete game of cat and mouse with Jakirovic last night as well. So Alex Ferguson did famously, very humbly say it's down to players. I think when it gets down to the playoffs, Simon, we can really look at the dugouts, because that's in-game, that's tweaky, that's tournament football. But now a lot of it is, what have you done for the last 18 months and laid out. But some superb candidates up there in the top six, you'd have to say, have all done excellent jobs. I mean, go figure. But sometimes we have, parachute teams that are kind of there and you think, well, should be there anyway. And people say that. I think it's a bit of a coping mechanism about Ipswich, but he's still churning out good performances, and it's a different challenge when you've got the expectation on you as opposed to not.
Absolutely. We'll gather again probably in a couple of weeks or a week's time. We've got obviously a 3-game week coming, and I'm sure our opinions will change as the matches happen, as they have done after Monday and Tuesday's results. If I were to ask you both right now, though, to give me and push you for your top two in whatever order you want, who are you feeling right now? Chris, I'll start with you. How bold and brash do you want to be with Millwall?
You're definitely asking the wrong Millwall fan, I can assure you. I don't think we'll make it, and that's, Millwall fans listen to this, whatever. I would bite your hand off for fourth place. I know that's not the question you asked me, but I would.
Home leg in the playoffs.
Home second.
No one wants
Chris,
to come
just
to the
quickly,
playoff game.
Is there not an argument you want fifth or sixth because you could make the tie unassailable with your home leg? Do you know what I mean? And go into the away leg with a lead. Do you know there's sometimes you can flip it round with a team that's, got the den in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to look at I don't know the stats, but I'd love to look at, what the stats are.
The stats say it your way around, that you don't come back, in the away leg afterwards. So.
Yeah, I mean, and we've achieved it in different ways historically from League One, albeit like that. And I've got nightmares from the last time we were in the playoffs in the Championship in 2001, where Stern John scored for Birmingham, and that the second leg was at home. So I'm contradicting myself. But to answer your question head on, I will go, and sorry, Boro fans, listen to this. I'm going to go Coventry, and I think Ipswich's star power will get them over the line.
I think I'm with you. I think it might come down to that Ipswich Boro game, and that will be the decider. And I think, Ben, we've talked about teams coming at Ipswich and playing and what it does to them. I saw Coventry lose 5-0 on aggregate to Ipswich, trying to do exactly that. And ultimately, I think that squad depth might just win them that game. And it will be very, very close. I can see it going to the final day, of course I can, maybe with more than two teams and Millwall still involved. But I think I will go Coventry and Ipswich as things stand right now, and we're perfectly capable of changing our predictions in a week or two when the scores have changed. Ben, do you agree with us? Or are you going to be a bit more cautious?
Oh, I'll be a bit more cautious then for a bit of balance. I think if it goes to that head-to-head and Middlesbrough have got the lead, I think all the pressure's on Ipswich then, because Middlesbrough can draw the game. And as Chris has said, Kim Hellberg is super smart. You know, you're going to see Ayling in a back three, and you know there'll be different questions to answer. And I mean, as a Championship fan, what a game that could be. If it goes to the final day, Ipswich are at home to QPR and Middlesbrough at Wrexham. But how many times do we see on the final day Middlesbrough 2 up in 15 minutes at Wrexham? We see it. The final day is mental without fail every single year. So I don't know. And still not knowing what if that Pompey game has to go in late April or something for Ipswich? Even if Pompey are safe by then, you don't want to go to Pompey away in the running needing 3 points, do you? Absolutely not. So I don't know. I can't have all three of us going for Ipswich. So I'll go for it to certainly go up to round 42, and could be all down to that head-to-head, couldn't it?
Absolutely could. I think it's a brilliant promotion race this season, and we're all involved in it, and Boro involved as well. 3 out of the 4 of us with no parachute payment. Sorry, Ben, that's not a dig again.
Oh, mate, get promoted, and then you can be evil too the second you're up, yeah? And everyone will hate you as well.
Yeah, what promotion?
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, I do hate the game. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll reconvene in a week or two. Thank you, Chris. Check out his channel. I'll collab with him and Benjamin Bloom, EFL expert, of course. Ben, you got any watch-alongs coming on Friday night? Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, but we predicted it'd be 0-0, didn't we? It's Preston Oxford. I'm out working being a musician on Saturday, so there won't be one on Saturday. But yeah, come and check out the channel. Plenty going on.
Perfect, guys. We'll reconvene in a week or two and completely change our minds based on the results, because that's exactly what we do as Championship pundits. Thank you very much for watching, guys.